I'm David Edgar. I'm the president of the Writers Guild, and this is welcoming you to the Austerity Awards, exchanging the gilded delights of BAFTA for the Free Word Centre. But I'm very pleased we're here because this is a centre run by a number of organisations, but including PEN and Index on Censorship. And I think it is worth remembering that this year, since the last awards, we've lost a number of writers who are a kind of beacon, I think, for writers, not just to be writers, but to be campaigners for writers and campaigners for many other things. And I'm thinking, obviously, of the terrible cull last Christmas of Adrian Mitchell, John Mortimer and Harold Pinter, but also more recently of Troy Kennedy Martin. We've lost a very considerable group of writers. And while nobody would say that the problems that we have in this room are equivalent to those faced by people like Index and PEN campaigned for, we're obviously in difficult times for writers, particularly in television, with many cutbacks and many problems. And I would just say, before we start, that if there are any writers, nominees or indeed winners, who are not members of the Writers Guild, paradoxically, now would be a great time to join. Probably you no longer need our legal services or our contract vetting services because you have agents. You've probably sussed that if you go to the website, you can download our increasingly numerous and excellent guidelines for writers in our various sectors for nothing. And you can also, you are inevitably using the contracts that we've negotiated in television with the BBC, with the independent companies, with PACT and with the theatre. However, if people don't join the Writers Guild, then the Writers Guild will become less and less able to negotiate those contracts, to renegotiate those contracts, and to police those contracts. And do you know what? If the Writers Guild isn't doing that, I don't think the managements every year are going to put up the fees. I don't think they're going to organise for us to have residuals in the new areas of technology. I suspect they may see it as an opportunity to take away residuals where we already have residuals. And so I would beg people genuinely, if they're not members, to do so. We need you, but you need us. For the last 3 years, over the last 2 years, this event has been hosted by Jeremy Hardy, and we've been delighted by being alternately entertained and abused by him. Tonight's host is Dave Cohen, who's one of the great golden era stand-ups from the 80s, co-founder of the Comedy Store Players. This century he's been concentrating more on writing, notably for Have I Got News for You, the sketch show Dead Ringers, and indeed Not Going Out, which I'm pleased to say is a stricture he's not applied to himself this evening. He is also strangely up for an award himself for 15-minute musical, and of course he will be announcing the announcer of that with due disinterest. I should thank our sponsors, ALCS, the BBC Writers' Room, BBC Talent Rights, and H.W. Fisher and Company, and hand over with some relief to Dave Cohen to host the evening.